Hey guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey back with another video. So this one is going to be a quick words, phrases, and names of the week video that I'll be doing here. It'll be extremely quick, but it's really interesting because I'm noticing quite an uptick with some of the same words. I'm looking at my computer screen here. I'm noticing quite an uptick of some of the names and phrases that I've seen over time starting to reappear. So if you are noticing this as well, that means this is for you, okay? So something to keep your eyes out for. And the fact that I'll be sharing this in a video with you means that someone needs to hear it because this could be pertaining to you, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed well over a year, to be exact, a lot of imagery and tunes pertaining to that. I think her name is, she's a singer, her name is Vanity. She was closely aligned with Prince, the artist known as Prince back in the day, the music artist. Her story was very, very interesting. It was pretty sad how she got into the industry and what happened to her thereafter, but then she ended up finding the Lord and started doing the Lord's work. So it looks like she was able to get back on the right track, if you will, in her own way. Each individual is different. Some chooses to follow religion. Oh, I just saw a spark. Okay, sorry you guys, I just saw like, not a spark, but one of those flashes. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's not an orb, but it's like one of those flashes like on the side. So, that means I'm supposed to talk about this, okay? So, and those of you who are not really tapped in, you don't know what I'm talking about, but sometimes, you know, people say they see like orbs or they'll see like a little spark or flash in their eye that kind of like pops up. And sometimes it is based on energy. You might feel like certain energy moving in the room. It doesn't have to be a physical person here. Those of us who are spiritually inclined, energy inclined, we feel those things and you won't know because if it's not something meant for you to know in this lifetime. Okay, so, and it's just how that works. So when we talk about that, a lot of us who are in the spiritual space, that means we know we need to talk about it. So that was very strong, though. That was a very strong flash that's on the right. So I think I need to talk about her. I don't know why. Let me see what the heck. Give me 1 second, you guys. So Vanity. Let's see what's the deal here, because that was I'd never seen it that bold like that. That bold, that bright. It just kind of sent a chill down my spine here. So Vanity, okay, she was a singer. Her name was Denise Catherine Matthews. She was born January in '59 and she passed February 2016. She was a Canadian singer, model, and actress. I know she was a model, had a feeling in that. Such a beautiful person. I think she was once in a relationship with Prince, but I know she was married for like a year to some gentleman by the name of Anthony Smith. I remember looking at her story. She was going through a lot. I mean, of course, being in that industry, you encounter quite a bit in terms of different energies and different people and then what they kind of do that's off screen, if you know what I mean. So sadly enough, being that type of gal, she was exposed to that because she was considered like a sex symbol during that time. It turns out she passed away due to kidney failure. And the beautiful thing about it, because her estate, she left it to her church, which I think is beautiful. She did that. I wonder what else. I'm sure if there's anything else I need to cover about her, it's going to, it'll come to me at some point. But that, okay, that enough. I'm getting tongue-tied here. That was enough for me to know, okay, I need to maybe mark that and maybe look more into her at some point. Let me go ahead and mark that. So I know to look at further into her at some point because I've been seeing some details about her for about a year, or well over a year, I should say. Now, to take it a step further, I've been seeing a lot of details, imagery, also again more so aligned with Aaliyah. I'm not quite sure what this is about and why does it keep resurfacing. Also, some details pertaining to John Wick, the fictitious character. So the way I take this is that maybe for any of us who are dealing with, karmics on a daily, in various forms, just know they view you as the John Wick in their story, as the Baba Yaga. I think that's pretty dope, actually. It's like, oh, well, what can I say? They see you as the John Wick. I take it that they see that you're one that stands on business that you do not like or would not really allow anyone to play in your face. They see that you're one that know how to read energy and you know how to move quick and how to execute when needed accordingly. They know when it comes to even getting into your world, very few are allowed to. They know that you know how to adapt to an environment and how to maneuver and get out of the space when needed as quickly as possible. They do understand that you are a one man, one woman show. And what I mean by that is that you stand solo, and they know that you're not the only one working alone. And to take that on a deeper scale, they know chances are you are extremely spiritually protected. They may have tried sending various attacks towards you, or actually have paid certain individuals or groups to send attacks towards you, and somehow it's not touching you. It's for a reason. And it's because of your spiritual protection. It's not anything that you conjured up. It's something that has been with you throughout time, over time, for generations, since you've reincarnated over and over and over. They didn't believe it before, but they're starting to see it now. It's one of those things where they had to test it out to see for themselves, and warning after warning has been given to them, and they realized that they made a bad move, and now they're feeling the brunt of it. So again, that's where that whole John Wick thing comes into play. Wear that as a badge of honor. Furthermore, another word I've been seeing quite heavily, actually a title, is witch. Some may actually think that you're a witch. Ooh. People fail to realize that is really not a bad title. It really isn't. If people look into the historical context of what the title means, if they looked into the different types of witches that are out there, they'll see they're not all bad. Or they'll have a better understanding of why women for centuries have been considered witches. A lot of times women were labeled as such during those days because they were too outspoken, they were too forward in their approach. And those who were on the patriarchal side of the spectrum found that to be an issue. How dare you speak out against me or towards me like that? How dare you do this outside of our simple structure, our cult of domesticity? Look that up. It's an actual thing. Cult of domesticity. If you know, you know. And sadly enough, these people were labeled as such. Now, granted, you have some of those who are considered dark witches, right? You have those that, when I say dark, I'm not talking about in terms of color. I'm talking about in terms of doing dirty deeds. Those are the ones that tend to be frowned upon. Those are the ones that most people don't like to have associations with because it never works out well for them. It doesn't. It doesn't. As for the other ones, it always works out well for them because they don't follow that line of darkness when it comes to trying to attack people for no apparent reason, things like that. Like a lot of these practitioners, they're taking payment for doing these deeds towards individuals and they haven't even done their research, but just because it's a quick buck or two, those are considered dark, and they're not well trained, because if they were well trained, they would know, I need to do my research on this person before I do any type of work. And they, sadly enough, get sucked into seeing that dollar or two on the edge of their table, and then, oop, that's on them. So to put it plainly, if someone views you or been around gossiping and saying, oh, she has to be a witch because she's a bit of a loner, or oh, she seems to have so much given to her, or seems to have so much on him, and he has to be a warlock or something like that, let them think what they want to think and continue to be you, because while they're doing that, they're not even bold enough to tell you that's to your face, because chances are if they ever tried it, they know you'll call them on their shit, and it'll more than likely embarrass them, so they won't even try it because they know it's just speculation, and the speculation itself is false. Anyhow, a lot of us who are in this lifetime, especially with all this going down right now in terms of the karmics, a lot of it is because we are put in place as walking karma, a walking tower moment, also known as the trap. What do you mean by that? Let me explain. We're often known as the trap. So we were put in place in such a way that, think of it this way, every individual that you come across within your day-to-day, every time you have any type of exchange of energy with them, they are locked in. God is utilizing you as a test for these individuals to see how they will handle you if they fail to do the right thing when it comes to dealing with you. Trouble will follow. Hence is the trap notion that I just mentioned. The walking tower moment, the walking karma, however you want to title it. I'll give you an example. Thinking back to the times where I was with my ex. And I remember he used to tell me all types of things. Like, let's say he was heading to work after parting ways or whatever. All of a sudden, and he had a nice car. His car was a very nice car. He always drove really nice BMWs. That was his brand. I don't remember if it's X whatever. I don't remember the coding on them too much because I was never really a BMW fan. But they were still nice cars. So, I'm always new, up to date, the latest. Talking about like the ones I remember where, I think his last one, I don't know what year it was, I forgot. But it was like on the screen, not the screen, the windshield, I'm sorry. On the windshield, he could read the dashboard. It was kind of like some type of deal he had going on. One of those newer versions where you could see your speedometer and all that on your windshield from the driver's seat, that type of deal. So he really had some nice ones. So I remember there were instances where he would say something like how he got into an accident, or his tires had went out, 2 tires went out, or something else went wrong with the car, or he mentioned things in regards to his pets, like how I think one of his pets or 2 of them had died, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I kept thinking like, wow, this is really, really rough. Like all this stuff is happening. What is going on? I didn't quite understand it then, and I would get this information after, either I was heading into work, or either he was getting ready to head into work, or go run an errand, whatever the case may be. But when he would share that information with me, I'm like, huh. Like every time I look around, he's getting hit with some type of bad something. What's going on with that? As time progressed onward, And then, you know, things played out the way it did. It all made sense to me then. Like, that's why. It was because karma was being served to him for what he was doing behind the scenes that I was not privy to. Little did he realize, and little did I realize, I was that trap in this lifetime. And interestingly enough, he wasn't the only person that has encountered these things after coming into my energy. I was able to piece together thereafter, and I realized, that's why, because I am actually what they would consider to be the walking tower moment, the walking karma, aka the trap. And a lot of us who tend to fall into that mold, that's why we all feel spiritually sensitive. Like a lot of times you could be standing amongst people and you could be feeling like all types of energy around you, someone's heart racing. You could sometimes hear people's thoughts too. It's the craziest thing, especially if you're in a public space where it's crowded, like a train or something, or like in a store. I can't stand those moments where I could be standing near a person or a group of people and I could feel someone's heart racing, because it would start racing out of nowhere, and I used to just not like it. But sometimes you have to find a way to kind of block it out, and that's what's worked for me. Now, to take it a step further, some of the other words, phrases, and names I've noticed over time are as follows. The fact that you are the blueprint. When I think of that, just think of it this way. All the type of spiritual attacks and such that has been sent your way, a lot of that stuff you were not supposed to survive through. A lot of these people that were put in place for, why has my nose been itching so much this morning? Well, anyhow, I'll look into that here in a bit. But a lot of the stuff that you guys have been put through, you were not supposed to make it through. You were actually supposed to have either went crazy or just decided to take yourself out altogether in that way. The fact that you made it through those attacks is because, again, of your spiritual protection. It has nothing to do with money. It has a lot to do with your calling. A lot of these people are upset because of the gifts that's been bestowed to you in this lifetime. And it shows. People can tell when the gifts are genuine, that you are the real deal Holyfield, as we used to say back in the day, when they could pick up on you being the real deal Holyfield. They know it's not a front, it's not for play. That's what they hate the most. So the fact that they felt like, oh, I could test this, let me see if I do this, if I conjure up this, if I mix this with that, this will work. Not realizing God was watching it the entire time, as well as your spiritual team. And with that being the case, they woke up the beast, not only within you, but also with regards to the force. And a lot of you guys have like a legion of angels, of a spiritual team surrounding you. And for a lot of us, we have that support on both ends, the dark and the light. This is why people got to do the research, because you don't know who you're coming up against and why. No matter what you throw at them, it's not working. If you see that you're doing all this stuff and it's not working, I would be afraid. You should be very afraid, because that means that energy needs to go somewhere else. And guess where it's coming back to? And it's going to come back a lot harder than what you put all that time and effort into. It's going to come back to you. You can't run, you sure the hell can't hide. That being the case, again, you are the blueprint, because it's something within you and that's surrounding you that's been protecting you all this time, and people don't understand it. They don't understand how and why. It's because they were not chosen for it. And it has a lot to do with what you've done. It has a lot to do with rank too, in terms of spiritual rank, from what you've done in past lives as well. That's what's really pulling you through as well. I've been seeing the word or name Alpha a lot. Sigma, Gaylord. Gaylord I've been seeing for a little over a year. If you guys listen to my past videos, you'll see that. I don't know what that's about. And I actually saw that word again today too, so I don't know. We'll find out soon enough, I'm guessing, because it's starting to ramp up. I'm seeing it quite heavily again. I also saw the name Milton, M-I-L-T-O-N. Not quite sure what that's about. I'm seeing it pop up quite heavily again as well. So if you've been noticing it, then this is for you. Also the notion of move in silence until the task is done. I made another video recently about that, just reiterating that for anyone who needs to know. Even when it comes to any new people that you're crossing paths with going forward, they may seem like such a sweet person or a genuine person to deal with. Don't. You can still keep that level of interaction with them and keep it all jovial and keep moving. But when it comes to any major projects or things you're working on, anything that you have that's coming up that's very exciting that you know that's coming down the pike, or that you've been talking with other individuals off to the side about that's really exciting, you want to yell to the rooftop about what's getting ready to happen. Like I told you guys before, even from my end, I have a few, I guess you could say, forks in the fire right now. I refuse to talk about it though, because there's so many people who are watching, especially those monitoring spirits. Some individuals could be in a position where they're being utilized as a monitoring spirit, don't even realize it. They'll start asking all types of questions and don't realize that they're being used in that very moment. And monitoring spirits, actually, for those Bible thumpers, is talked about in the Bible as well. Don't be that person. So avoid those individuals like the plague, which is talked about in the Bible as well. So avoid them too, like the plague that's talked about in the Bible as well. So, yeah, move in silence. My nose has been itching. What is going on? I'm gonna have to look into that, okay? Because there's a reason. There's a spiritual reason why. Stuff with the nose. I'll look into it. Anyhow. Also, I've been seeing this phrase quite heavily. You guys listen to my videos over time, even up to present day. I've been seeing a lot pertain to wealth and you're going to be famous. Not sure who this is for, but if it is for you, if you've heard it yourself, whatever the case may be, if you've heard it also, that means this could be for you as well. Also, been seeing a lot of imagery pertaining to owls, hawks, things like that. If you've been seeing the word, hearing it, then this is for you. One song I've been hearing quite heavily is Can I Call You Rose? Such a cute song. It's an old song, so it's something that I've been picking up. I forgot the other song. It was, hold on one second, you guys. Another song, it's a gospel song. It's an oldie but goodie. It's called God's Trying to Tell You Something. I love that song too. So if you've been seeing or hearing anything pertaining to those two songs, then that means this is for you. Just know also, a lot of those who put you through the nonsense that you've endured over time, as of recent, know the very people that they were gossiping lying to in regards to yourself. Those who are surrounding them, they're actually starting to view them as being delusional, because they're realizing that after they've seen you in regards to your day-to-day and how you've been moving forward in terms of your progression, they realize, like, wait a minute, this individual is nothing like how this person had described them to us. He's nothing like how she described him from before, or she's nothing like how he described her before. they're starting to realize and piece it together and realize this person's not only delusional, but also because they're miserable just because of you breaking it off with them or choosing not to deal with them in some form or another. Whether it's on the work front, such as like an employer or employee that you worked alongside with, or whether it may have been a partner or a family member, just know that the onlookers do see it and they know who's the liar and who's the one that's genuinely the truth through it all, and they see that it's you. That is all for this quick video, you guys. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until next time, I'm definitely sending you off a love and light. Be blessed.